Good evening and welcome to Ignite News on 6 at 6. It's Tuesday, May 6, 2025. I'm Rihanna Nekram. Thanks for joining us. Here are the highlights. Thousands to benefit when Because We Care cash grant distribution begins on May 12th. East Coast Road Expansion Project on track for October completion. The Guyana Hindu Dharmic Sabha yesterday marked the 187th anniversary of Indian arrival in Guyana. And the Guyana Amazon Warriors will host the 2025 ExxonMobil Guyana Global Super League in July. The distribution of the Because We Care cash grant for students will begin on May 12th. It will start in Regions 9 and 7. Education Minister Priyamanik Chan made the announcement earlier today at the Arthur Chung Conference Center during the launch of the ministry's Arrival Day Village. Regions 2 and 5 will follow in the week after, with the remaining regions scheduled shortly thereafter. Each school-aged child will receive a $55,000 package, $50,000 in cash, and a $5,000 uniform voucher. To qualify, the child must be officially registered at a school, verified by both the regional and central education offices. Parents or guardians must present valid ID, such as a national ID card or driver's license. In the absence of those, verification by a village tushao or community leader is required. If a parent or guardian cannot collect the grant, an authorized representative may do so.
If you can't make it to pick up the grant, then you can send an authorization. We are going to be issuing what that should look like. This is an extremely smooth process. You would have to follow very carefully online on all our platforms and the newspapers when your region is going to be served and where each school will be served. This year we have the most locations possible. We try to do every school in the school itself or in the school's compound at least. We have the full cooperation of the police as well as private security services that would help us with making sure this is all done safely. And so we're looking forward to beginning this grant. I want to re-emphasize, if you don't see your region starting on Monday, I don't want to see conversations such as, oh gosh, when they started my region, like it's only dog and river. I've seen those kinds of things. We are going to get to every single child before the beginning of school because we're staggering this to be able to do it in an effective way. But there's a schedule, so you're going to have to take your own responsibility in paying attention to see when it is coming to your region and where your child's grant will be distributed. We've never had problems before and I don't expect any this year.
Manik Chan encourages parents and guardians to pay attention to announcements made by the ministry in an effort to stay up to date with distribution schedules. She noted that there are more available locations this year where the grants can be uplifted and assured that there will be strict security systems in place to ensure safety. Widespread infrastructure works are coming to Georgetown as the government moves to fix broken roads, unsafe bridges, and poor drainage systems that often lead to flooding. On Saturday, Minister of Public Works, Bishop Juan Ejil, along with engineers, toured several affected communities to assess conditions. Residents raised concerns about neglected drainage and irrigation, blaming the City Council for years of inaction. Minister Ejil assured them that the government will step in with swift repairs and planning. He promised improvements to both living conditions and public safety. Engineers are expected to return soon for detailed inspections, aided by information gathered from residents. Communities set to benefit include Agricola, Container City, Rossville, Ben Curtin Drive, Rivers View, Sussex and Hill Street, Middle Road, Barbie Dam, Bamboo Drive, Meadowbrook, Kitty, Bel Air Park, North Sophia, and Merriman's Mall. Police in Linden are actively investigating a suspected drowning after the body of an elderly man was discovered submerged at the bottom of the Tucson Mall, located at Amelia's Ward, Mackenzie. The body, which has been identified as 67-year-old Henry Gardiner, was retrieved from the pool by the Guyana Police Force. CCTV footage shows Gardiner, a maintenance worker at the location, struggling to exit the pool. Ignite News will keep you updated as this story develops. We'll be right back with more Ignite News after these messages. Stay with us.
We're for the brave, for tenacity. Here's to the up and atom types. We're for the crafters, the drafters, and the ones who clean up after. Here's to the dream makers and the risk takers, because we know what it takes. From mobility to high-speed internet to technology that makes it easy for your business. We're for brave, we're for business, and we're in this together. Bravo.
Welcome back to Ignite News on 6 at 6. The U.S. $192 million East Coast Road Expansion Project remains on schedule for completion by October, with just 5 families still to be relocated. Minister of Public Works, Bishop Juan Edghill, visited the project site on Friday and met with the remaining residents between Haslington and Victoria. He encouraged their cooperation to avoid any delays to the timeline. So far, 108 residents from Enmore to Belfield have signed agreements, received compensation, and relocated, with only one person yet to finalize the process. The project, led by China Railway First Group Co. Limited, is being executed in segments to speed up progress across multiple sections. Earlier delays between Plaisance and Beehive, caused by homes and businesses on the construction route, were resolved after the ministry intervened to relocate affected structures. With major relocation efforts nearly complete, construction continues steadily toward its final phase. Yesterday, the Ghana Hindu Dharmic Sabha marked the 187th anniversary of Indian arrival in Guyana with Sanskriti. The cultural program honors the legends, the struggles, the successes, the rich culture and heritage brought to Guyana by the East Indians during the indentureship period that began in 1838. The program included various types of Indian dance performances, singing, faith-based performances, an exhibition of Indian ethnic wear, and various narratives reflecting the strength of the Indian ancestors.
Today is not only Indian arrival, today is also Sita Jayanti. And I want to say that when I think that Sita Jayanti, an Indian arrival day, occurs on the same day, what comes to my mind is a single word, and that is fearlessness. Fearlessness as represented in the Ramayana by Sita Ma, who stood as an indomitable, indefatigable figure in the Ramayana against coercion, against threats, intimidation of Ravan, maintaining her dignity, maintaining her honor, her character. And as women of this modern world, she stands as a tower to be emulated by us because of the characteristics that she so enviably demonstrated in the Ramcharitmanas. So when I speak of fearlessness, how does it translate to our ancestors? Well, I think we are here because they were fearless. In fact, they never kowtowed to colonialism in spite of the hardship, the trials, the tribulations, the challenges that they endured, in spite of the pain of losing each other because of this hardship, and very arduous living conditions, limited freedom. I will say they were fearless because they preserved what we enjoy today. It is because of them that we have traditions that we maintain. It is because of them that we can celebrate our beautiful culture. It is because of them that our heritage has been preserved so wonderfully. They held on to those things that they brought with them, they treasured them, and today they enrich the landscape of our country because Guyana's kaleidoscope of culture has the distinction of having diverse cultures.
Speaking at the event, President of the Ghana Hindu Dharmic Sabha, Dr. Vindya Prasad, underscored the importance of honoring the elderly population who embodies a wealth of knowledge.
Today, I went to see Mata Sumintra from number 60 village. I sat with her prior to today, and what struck me was her impeccable memory, her sharp wit, and the ability to sing quite flowing and beautiful lyrics. She took us back in time, and she regaled us with stories of the past. And at 104 years, she would have lived through World War I, and so many bits of history across this country. As our seniors age, as they move into their older years, their twilight years as we call them, we must treasure them. We must sit with them and listen to them as they can give you so much words of wisdom, but they can also give you words of your history. And if you can, take those words down, capture them, because there are many unsung heroes and heroines in Guyana who have done remarkably well, quietly, changing the lives of others, influencing and inspiring people, and we must recognize and applaud those things.
On May 5, 1838, the first set of East Indian indentured laborers landed in plantation Highbury. On that day, 2 ships, Whitby and Hesperus, landed in the then British colony of Guyana with approximately 423 East Indians. Sanskriti will also be held in Essequibo and Georgetown in the coming week. The diverse contributions of Guyanese immigrants are currently on showcase at the Ministry of Education's Arrival Day Village 2025. The event, which is the first of its kind, was launched at the Arthur Chung Conference Center earlier today and wraps up tomorrow. Students, teachers, and patrons who attend are treated to live cultural presentations and portrayals of the different Guyanese ethnic groups, including food, clothing, arts and crafts, dance, and artifacts. Education Minister Priya Manikchan, who declared the event officially open, said the struggles and contributions of the ethnic groups which came to Guyana were not in vain.
The people who came before us, as you will see when you walk through there, whether they came at the bottom of a slave ship or were brought at the bottom of a slave ship in very, very harsh conditions, where many of them did not make it to shore because they were so cruelly treated, or whether they came on the Hesperus or Whitby or on the Glentana, or whether they were met here when the Europeans came, or whether they were brought to give work when slavery ended. All of them withstood very harsh conditions to get here. And all of them struggled in very harsh conditions to stay here and build a better life for you.
The location also came alive with vibrant cultural displays delivered by numerous dance groups, including Joro, X Factor, and numerous others. Additionally, attendees were treated to delectable samples of Guyanese cuisine, which were introduced to Guyana by immigrants.
We have our traditional Chinese cuisine. You can see the delicious fried rice, we have chow mein, we also have wontons, and all the children here can enjoy the samples that we are offering today as part of our Guyanese culture. So I know you're here today and you too can sample and you can get a feel, the richness of our Guyanese culture. And as you know, the Chinese were the 6th ethnic group that arrived in Guyana. Right? We had starting with the Amerindians and finally with the Chinese, and which gave us a rich culture, a rich Guyanese culture, as rich and delicious as our cuisine here today that represents our Chinese people, our Guyanese Chinese.
Manikchan encouraged parents and guardians to take students to visit the Arrival Day Village, noting that the displays featured are part of the social studies syllabus. Stay tuned, more Ignite news coming your way after this break.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95, tune up. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95, tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Gala Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyol's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Welcome back. Rapper Central C made a subtle yet powerful statement at the 2025 Met Gala. Wearing a sleek black tuxedo by Jacques Mousse, he added a personal touch with a Guyanese flag pin, quietly honoring his heritage. The event's team, Super Fine, Tailoring Black Style, celebrated black fashion identity through sharp tailoring. The dress code, Tailored for You, encouraged guests to showcase their personal style and history. Central C's refined look reflected this, blending style with personal meaning. His appearance also marked a shift. Just 2 years ago, he famously rejected the Met Gala in a lyric. At time, he rapped, "I ain't putting no suit and tie on. I turned down the Met Gala." Last night, he showed up in a suit and tie. Central C, whose real name is Oakley Neil Caesar Sue, was born in West London to a Guyanese father. He's known for songs like Doja and Sprinter. Grace Hamilton, globally recognized as Spice, has openly shared her profound sorrow and solidarity following the tragic deaths of 11-year-old Adriana Young in Guyana. During an emotional TikTok live session, the Jamaican dancehall artist, holding back tears, expressed her heartbreak over the devastating situation. As a mother herself, she conveyed how deeply heartbreaking it is, capturing the collective grief sweeping across the Caribbean.
What I see happening with little Adriana is so heartbreaking. So heartbreaking. As a mother, may I tell you, wickedness can't done. But justice for little Adriana. And I think maybe when I'm in a better mood and when I'm stronger, I would love to elaborate on what I see happening. But I've been in bed all week just snobbing, in disbelief. Like I said, it's just so much. I am very proud of Guyana, I must say. I am so proud of Guyana. So proud of Guyana. And when I saw what was happening, I was like, Jamaica need to take a page out of Guyana book, because Jamaica has had so much injustice in our system as well. So much heartless, brutal killing to innocent people. And the way almost Guyana really deal with this situation, I commend them so much. So Guyana, my hat's off to you. I take my hats off to you, Guyana. I take my hats off to Guyana.
Spice also took a moment to commend the people of Guyana for how they've handled the tragedy, expressing her pride in the unity and resilience shown by the Guyanese in the face of such a profound loss. The death of Adriana, reportedly due to drowning, has raised suspicions of foul play, with her family and many locals alleging that the young girl was abducted and murdered. This incident has sparked widespread protests and unrest across Guyana. In her message, Spice made it clear that she stands firmly with the people of Guyana, expressing her full support during this difficult time. Internationally, the U.S. government is now offering money and free travel to undocumented migrants who agree to leave the country voluntarily. Migrants who sign up can receive up to $1,000 plus a paid plane ticket home. Homeland Security says it's a safer and more cost-effective option than arrests and deportation, and it could even help some people return legally in the future. The program uses a government app, CBP Home, to confirm departures, and those who take part won't be targeted for detention while they're arranged to leave. One person has already accepted the offer, flying from Chicago back to Honduras. Officials say deporting someone the usual way can cost over $17,000, so they're calling this a more dignified and affordable approach. The move comes as the Trump administration ramps up immigration enforcement, using aggressive policies that have sparked legal challenges. We'll be right back with more Ignite News. Stay with us. Welcome back to Ignite News on 6 at 6. Tensions flared in Washington today as Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney firmly rejected any talk of Canada becoming part of the United States. Meeting President Trump in the Oval Office for the first time, Carney made it clear that Canada's sovereignty is not up for negotiation. The exchange followed recent comments from Trump, who suggested he'd like to see Canada become the 51st state. The Canadian leader pushed back, signaling that Canada is and will remain independent.
There would be a lot of advantages, but it would be a massive tax cut. And it's also a beautiful, as a real estate developer, I'm a real estate developer at heart. When you get rid of that artificially drawn line, somebody drew that line many years ago with like a ruler, just a straight line right across the top of the country. When you look at that beautiful formation when it's together, I'm a very artistic person, but when I looked at that beauty, I said that's the way it was meant to be. But I do feel it's much better for Canada, but we're not going to be discussing that unless somebody wants to discuss it. I think that there are tremendous benefits to the Canadian citizens, tremendously lower taxes, free military, which honestly we give you essentially anyway because we're protecting Canada if you ever had a problem. But I think it would really be a wonderful marriage because it's two places that get along very well. They like each other a lot.
Well, if I may, as you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale.
That's true.
We're sitting in one right now, Buckingham Palace that you visited as well.
That's true.
And having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever.
Never say never. Never say never.
The meeting began with awkward moments in front of the press as both leaders took veiled shots at each other. Trump had earlier posted on social media downplaying the importance of Canadian imports like lumber and electricity. Despite attempts to steer the conversation toward trade, Trump continued to raise the idea of closer integration, even suggesting Canadians would benefit from joining the U.S. But Carney stood firm, leaving little room for interpretation. The talks eventually shifted to business and trade, where Trump downplayed U.S. economic ties with Canada, despite the two nations sharing one of the largest trading relationships in the world. Conservative leader Friedrich Merz has won a parliament vote to become Germany's next chancellor at the second attempt. Merz had initially fallen 6 votes short of the absolute majority he needed this morning, a significant blow to his prestige and an unprecedented failure in post-war German history. As it was a secret ballot in the 630-seat Bundestag, there was no indication who had refused to back him, whether MPs from his center-left coalition partner or his own conservatives. After hours of uncertainty in the Bundestag, the parties and the president of the Bundestag agreed to hold a second vote, which Merz then won with 325 votes, a majority of 9. His coalition with the Social Democrats should have had enough seats in Parliament from the start, with 328 MPs in total, but it's thought 18 of them dissented during the first vote. No chancellor candidate has lost a Bundestag vote in the 76 years since democracy was restored in Germany in 1949. And there was a prevailing mood of confusion in Parliament in the hours after the vote. In sports, the Guyana Amazon Warriors will once again serve as hosts for the 2025 ExxonMobil Guyana Global Super League, GSL, set to take place from July 10th to the 18th at the iconic Providence Stadium. As the 2023 Caribbean Premier League CPL champions, the Warriors will join 4 top international teams, all competing for the prestigious GSL trophy and a share of the U.S. $1 million prize. With world-class T20 cricket and a celebration of Guyana's vibrant culture, the tournament promises to be another exciting chapter for fans around the world. The Amazon Warriors narrowly missed out on a GSL final appearance in 2024, falling short on net run rate after a fierce campaign. However, their resilience and skill were evident, continuing the trademark trend that has made them one of the most consistent teams in CPL history. Having reached the CPL finals 7 times, the Warriors added another strong season to their legacy by finishing as runner-ups in 2024. Looking ahead, Sir Clive Lloyd, chairman of the ExxonMobil GSL, praised the Warriors' role as hosts in 2024, expressing confidence in another successful tournament. In a thrilling game 1 of their Eastern Conference semifinal series, the New York Knicks pulled off a dramatic 108-105 overtime victory over the Boston Celtics. The Knicks overcame a 20-point deficit in the third quarter, with the game reaching a dramatic climax in the final seconds. Michael Bridges sealed the win after stealing the ball from Jalen Brown, following an inbound pass with just 3 seconds left. In the fourth quarter, Jalen Bronson played a pivotal role, tying the game with a three-pointer and 2 free throws, then giving the Knicks their first lead since the second quarter with another three-pointer. Boston briefly regained the lead with a 7-0 run, but Bronson had a chance to win it in regulation, missing a layup with just 2 seconds left. Jason Tatum then missed a potential game winner at the buzzer, sending the game into overtime. In the extra period, the Knicks took control with key players from OG Anunoby, who hit a dunk and foul shot, followed by a crucial three-pointer from Bridges. That was enough for Knicks to finish off the stunning comeback. And that's all for this edition of Ignite News on 6 at 6. For more stories, visit ignitenews.com or follow us on social media. Thanks for watching. I'm Rihanna Nikram. See you tomorrow for more Ignite News.